You filming yourself of them filming us?
Taking a selfie.
Was I even in it or was it just you?
It was just me.
Come on, come on.
I'm Amy.
I'm Garth.
So we're going to meet a sweet couple named Greg and Holly. Garth has helped them out with kitchen appliances in their newly remodeled kitchen, which I already have a little kitchen envy, I'm not gonna lie.
I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot more expensive trip than just cooking up some pork tenderloin and rice. I think this is gonna turn into a kitchen remodel for our own house. So
yeah, let's do that.
It's gonna be a pricey one, but for now we're gonna focus on getting them taken care of, getting some of the intimidation out on how to use some of their new appliances.
Yeah.
Some things that a lot of people haven't cooked on, including the Hallbrooks. They've never cooked on Induction, so we're gonna do some fun.
Whoa. Don't hit that car.
This is start. It's gonna be a long day.
Please don't. It's gonna be a fun, short day. I just didn't want you to hit the car. Let's go meet Greg and Holly.
Gifts, go ahead.
So see ya.
Good to see y'all. Part of the reason we're doing this actually is because Garth and I both have a passion for food. Separately, before we even met, we had a passion for food, and then when we met each other, it was like that passion and the food and gathering people just ignited even bigger. Our why is to get people to the table. That is what I feel like is most important, especially today. We are all so busy. We live very busy lives. Our families are scattered throughout the world. There's something really magical and special that happens when you get people around the table.
Okay, so Greg and Holly, we're here in the kitchen with them today in order to give them a kind of breaking in session to the appliances they picked out with us on what's gonna be best for their house, how they cook, what worked for their budget. And so this is a crash course into how to actually use their appliances. And I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm a little self-centered here to say that how better to do that than with a chef, but how better to do it than with a chef. So I'm gonna go through and help them out, not just from the culinary chef, cooking school side, but just from the hands-on, like how can we make the most of the appliance? They spend a lot of money to purchase, to put in their kitchen, and we wanna make sure that they love them, that they make the most of them, and the folks at home can see some of the similar things they might be looking at for their own house. All right, I'm here with Greg, the homeowner. We are christening your kitchen, as Amy likes to say. Awesome. We're starting with a pork tenderloin. Greg, have you cooked pork tenderloin much before?
Not really. We've kind of done a little bit of shredded pork, but not anything like this. Okay, so pork tenderloin, and actually that's good you brought it up. Shredded will tend to do better if you're doing something that's like fatty and tough. That slow cooker, or actually your oven, will do a great job of slow cooking. Is great for things that are just a tougher meat. This is like the filet mignon of the pig. Okay. So kind of a juxtaposition there, but you'll notice how lean it is. But I do want you to do me a favor and just cut some slits all the way around it. All right, next up, we'll do a little salt and pepper. If you'll drop that into our bag here. Sure. All right, and so we're gonna do about, equal quantity. So about a third each of Worcestershire, balsamic, and tamari. Tamari is gluten-free soy sauce. Okay. I wish Amy was here to do this with me. Babe, what do you call?
What's her sister?
What's her sister's sauce? I can't quite pronounce it. You'll grab some balsamic and we'll just pour it together. Balsamic. Pour about the same amount of the tamari in. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of Texas sweet mustard. What we have in there right now is this umami, this like gathering of flavors. We've got salty from the tamari, we've got sweet from the balsamic, we've got depth from the What's Her Sister sauce, and we've got mustard to kind of hold it all together. I did start ahead with this. So we've got a couple of the pork tenderloins in here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you wrap it. Perfect, we're a third of the way there. We're gonna go sear it, we're gonna put it in the oven, we're gonna cook it to a perfect medium plus. It's a little bit of pink in the center, and it's gonna be delicious. All right, Greg, we're using a brand new Induction cooktop. Just turn the pan on. Unlike anything else, it only takes a few seconds to come up to heat. So add a little bit of oil there. Okay. Yep, that looks good. So all right, the pan's hot. I'm swirling the oil around. The oil.
Trust me with this, do you?
You got it. Cannot mess this up, I promise. So what's happening here right now is we can work from listening. So we know we've got a good sizzle. If it starts to like burn or brown, because we're using Induction, responds instantly. So when I turn the heat down, it immediately stops at that high heat level. One of the things I love about Induction, Also, where it's heating right now, the area around it is completely cool to the touch.
Right.
So unlike an electric cooktop, if something does splatter over, it doesn't cook to the surface. So it's really easy to clean. It's one of the many things I love about Induction. And then you've got the new fancy oven that has a probe thermometer. It plugs into the oven. It's a pretty cool feature, but not everybody has it. So if you don't have an oven at home that has the plug-in probe thermometer, or you can't find it, it's dirty, something else, then what I have here is called the meter. Okay. This is a probe thermometer that talks to my phone. Nice. We're going to put it into the pork once it's seared, and it's going to tell our phone when the pork's going to be done, based on the temperature that I tell it, about how long that's going to take, and then when I need to pull it out of the oven so it's perfectly rested. Takes out the guesswork. Okay, so we've got the pan that we seared the pork in. We've got some of the little crusties from that, all deglaze. You could use alcohol like whiskey, red wine, beer, you name it. In this case, I'm using kombucha. So that's going to cook off some of those little brown bits. And then we're going to add some of the same ingredients we had for the marinade. So a little bit of balsamic, a little bit, as Amy calls it, what's her sister, tamari, or soy sauce. Soy sauce is totally fine. Tamari is just gluten-free. Little spice. So this is a Texas guajillo and red jalapeno. A little sweet, some Texas blueberry jam, and your Braunfels sweet and spicy mustard. Those are going to be thickeners. I'm going to let that come together. It's going to cook down by about half. We'll add a couple pats of butter to it, and then that's going to be ready for serving up with the pork tenderloin. Sure. So for the veggies, cook these separate from the rice so they could get caramelized, and they could be perfectly done when we're ready to mix them in with the rice. We sauteed a little bit of Texas mushrooms, some cremini or baby portobello mushrooms, some Brussels sprouts or shaved, and then some Texas sweet onions. They're actually Texas 1015s. The reason they're called that is that October 15th is the best time of year to plant them, and that's also my wife's birthday, so it's easy to remember. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're doing the rice. We're doing oven-baked rice, which is a little unique, but it guarantees successful rice every time. That's fluffy, not stuck to the bottom, and you keep it warm. That's also great to make it for a large group. So my normal ratio for basmati rice is 1.5 cups of rice to 2.5 cups of water. But the key on doing this in the oven is we have to have the water boiling when we put it in with the rice. Then we cover it and it goes in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. So I'm heating up my water because rice sucks in the water. That's where we want to add the flavor. So I'm putting some salt in there. I'm going to put some garlic. For even more depth of flavor, I'm going to use a little bit of French demi-glace. You could use beef stock, so just about a teaspoon. And then to make sure that our rice stays nice and flaky, we'll put in a little bit of butter. This will add more flavor than oil. And when that comes to a boil, we pour it onto the rice, wrap that in foil, put it in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. All right, Greg and Holly did a no-no. They put aluminum foil down in the bottom of their oven to help protect their oven, to keep it looking clean. But what will happen over time, and clearly they've had a couple of little spillovers, so they did protect their oven from getting dirty, but what can happen over time is that aluminum foil will actually bond to the bottom of the oven, and you will forever have little scraps of aluminum foil stuck to the bottom of the oven. So you don't want to use aluminum foil in the bottom of your oven, even if that's what Grandma did. Newer ovens don't need it. You can, first of all, try and avoid spilling things. Second would be put a tray underneath it. And third, check with your oven manufacturer, but there's some silicone mats you can put down the bottom, and I think that's what Greg and Holly ordered already.
All right, Chef, I'm gonna fluff the rice. I love this. This is such a great trick. And looky there, you didn't even have to pull out your rice cooker.
All right, so this is our mixture of mushrooms, Texas 1015 onions named after your birthday, and some Brussels sprouts.
Smells amazing. So with getting somebody around the table, you know, it's always a great excuse to just pop in the store and see what's new or something cool or trendy or even just beautiful to put on the table. It doesn't have to be immaculate, but it is fun, and honestly, it is a really good reason to go shopping or to see what's new out there and just to put some pretty decorations on the table. You know, I mean, presentation is everything, so why not make it pretty while you're gonna sit and enjoy?